Hey, we are live at the Pirate Broadcast today, and it's an amazing day. It's another interesting person doing interesting things on the Pirate Broadcast. And I want to share with you a few things that Gina is doing. I want to also announce that if you are watching us live, all the gratitude in the world. I love you, and I just want to respect your time and effort and bring something to the table that can help you along your day. And also, if you're watching this on the replay, leave a replay comment in the bottom and let us know so we can answer questions after the fact if you in fact have questions. And so there are, we are also on YouTube and Facebook, and I just launched a podcast. So if you want to listen along on your commute at some point in time, you can do that as well. So Gina, good morning. How are you this fabulous day?
I'm doing fabulous. The sun is just coming up here in Colorado, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Fantastic. So I want to talk about, we crossed paths a while ago. You were on another show. And then also I noticed that you were on Ruben. You were on with Ruben over at Dub.
Yes.
And so we have to cover that.
Randomly too. We connected. He reached out on LinkedIn and asked me if I would be on his podcast. And I had not heard of Dub, which I was surprised because it's such a cool platform.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's, I use Loom a lot
I do as well. Yeah.
For our team and sending clients. Like I was saying, if they're trying to troubleshoot something, I'm always doing a quick Loom video. But the fact that Dub has all these great analytics. Yeah. So Ruben and I connected there, and I told him, I said, what caught me was when I watched some of his videos and he had these hilarious bloopers. And I go, those are my favorites. Like when people do things like that, I go, there's a brand with personality. I need to know them.
Absolutely. Rob and the team, or Ruben and the team are over there are just amazing. I've connected with them several times. And they've got some announcements coming out that if you're not familiar with Dub, I encourage you to get familiar with Dub. It's one of those platforms that is unique and really pushing the boundaries on what you're doing.
Yeah. And I just think it is the way of communicating. When we have to send an email, if you're sending it to someone like me and it has more than one sentence in it, I'm probably not really reading the whole thing. But when you send a video and the video looks like a GIF, so it's intriguing, and you can send it in a LinkedIn message or emails. I love that kind of stuff. And I really think that's going to continue to be the way of the future.
Yeah. Well, and it's just so easy. And little inside tip. I'll share a little inside tip with you.
I love it. I'll whisper.
It's just you and I, Gina.
No one else will know.
So when you record a Dub video on your phone and copy the link, you can actually go into LinkedIn and paste that link in a comment when you're replying to somebody.
Wait, so only if you record it from your phone, though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool.
Well, we could test it out because we could actually record it on the desktop and then copy and paste it in the LinkedIn Live mobile app.
So you're saying to paste it in LinkedIn, it has to be on your phone?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then. Yeah. Of course I was thinking you had to do it on your phone and then go into LinkedIn on your desktop, but you're just saying just stay on your phone.
Stay on your phone.
I love that.
Stay on your phone.
I love that. Another thing most people don't know on LinkedIn is sending a voice message instead of a text. Just talk to people. It's like I think we've gotten away from actually talking and being real with people. And so I mean, again, I think we have so much content coming at us that it's text overload. So the more you can weave in voice and video, it's just a pleasing.
So I have to ask you a question then. So have you been bombarded with spam calls?
Phone calls? No.
You haven't?
Well, I shouldn't say that. I do get a lot of calls that I don't know the number, and if I don't know the number, I don't answer. So probably. I save every time somebody calls me the first time, or if I set a phone appointment, I ask them, what number will you be calling from? Because if I don't know it, I won't answer it. Yeah. And I think that's probably it, is I just get a lot of them.
Yeah. Hey, back to Dub before we move off this platform. They also allow you to insert a form into your call to action.
Yeah. So for a great lead
which is another opportunity for a platform that I know you like is Paperform.
Paperform? I don't use Paperform.
You do? I thought you mentioned that you love Paperform.
I use Lead Pages, and now we do a lot of even building out automated campaigns and landing pages in MailChimp for clients.
No, Paperform is just it's a Dina Dioni from Australia. They created this lovely, amazing form machine.
Paperform. I need to check it out.
Paperform.
I love new tools. I'm all about checking out and seeing which ones help.
Oh, we could nerd out all day on this. Then.
Yeah. I love things like that. And I'm usually, I jump on and I use them for myself for a while just to see, okay, is it easy? And does it make sense for business? Yeah.
Does it make sense? How it's, I often equate it to like a carpenter with a craftsman with a good set of tools. They may only use a single tool once in a while, and they know that tool, right? So,
but they know when they need it, and it makes things easy.
Oh, it's so much easier. Do you have any special tools that you like to have in your toolbox?
Oh my gosh. I mean, one that I probably use, well, there's several that I use daily, and one of them is Sketch. And it's built into Evernote, but it's a separate app on your phone and your computer. And I use that literally every day to take a screenshot of something and point an arrow and say, you have to click right here, because I get so many questions of, I can't figure out how to add somebody to a business Facebook page, or I can't figure out how to go find my LinkedIn company page. So I just go in and screen grab and do the little arrows and type text on there and send it. And so Sketch is one that I love. Canva is another one. I always have.
Canva, that's a go-to.
And I've tried other tools, and I think the whole thing of my brain, it's like, if it doesn't do something really different, I don't want to kill more brain cells that I'm hanging on to for dear life. I don't want to have to learn something new unless it does something these don't do.
Absolutely.
One of those, yeah.
Okay, I want to shift gears, because I know that we could nerd out and talk about tools all day long, and that's interesting to some people. Other people, they're just like, just give me some results. Just give me tell me the story. And so you created a book. Let's talk about this book, because.
Which one?
Well, I want to talk about the header you got on your LinkedIn profile. Okay. It's like, okay, social media doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've been telling people this for years. Social media doesn't work.
I always say this to people, because they think it's this magic button that once I create accounts on social media, suddenly sales are just going to come flying in the door. And all I have to do is just throw some automated stuff up there every day, and sales are going to come in. And I always say, social media doesn't work unless you work. You have to be present and be there and engage on other people's platforms and get to know other people. And there's a lot of work involved in using. But what I think is funny, because I hear this all the time. Oh, it used to be so easy. Business has gotten so hard because of social media. And I go, wow, I started my business in 1995. And I can remember spending hours at night at Kinko's, when Kinko's was a thing, making copies of brochures and printing things. And I spent hours. That was hard.
You think layout and Canvas difficult? Try Kinko's.
And I was doing it. I wasn't even in PowerPoint, because I don't even think PowerPoint was out then.
No.
I don't even remember what I was using, but I literally spent hours on my marketing, and it was so manual and so cumbersome and so time consuming. I go, people that tell me, wow, it's so hard, social media has made things so hard. I go, wow, you don't remember the day when it was hard. So we have this, romantic notion that things used to be easy to market our business, and now it's so hard. It's like, you just have to be human with people and build relationships. And anything we do in marketing is all about building relationships. So yeah, I wrote that book, kind of out of frustration and out of having a guide that goes through every platform on here's how to set it up. And then here's how to be real on there to connect and do the work. And I always tell people there's no easy button. If you're looking for something to be easy
if
on
you
there,
want an easy button,
it's
you
not.
have to go buy one.
Yeah. I used to have 4 of them on my wall, and I could just push it every once in a while when things were easy. But I just think we've gotten away from social media. Another thing I always tell people, we need more social, less media.
Yeah.
I think we just put out so much content and then we leave. We go back into our closets instead of put your content out there and then engage with people on there. We call it walking about. Go walk about your virtual neighborhood. I'm so excited that Mr. Rogers is coming out this week because I love Mr. Rogers. And
now I can't see any memes coming from that show.
I've always loved Mr. Rogers, whether you're afraid of his scary puppets or whether you love Polly. My boys, I raised them watching Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street, so I love it. But I would say we need to be like Mr. Rogers, and he would walk about his neighborhood, and he knew all his neighbors, and he didn't wait for them to come to his house. He went out to them. And I think in social media, we need to go to other people's profiles and platforms and comment on their stuff.
Well, it's interesting too, because I've been in advertising since 85, and I was in tech. I started in tech, really in tech, around 92. So from
Early
that
days,
seeing, hey, I've earned these wrinkles. It's like,
you don't even have wrinkles. You have gray hair, but you don't have wrinkles. I'm like, man,
I have.
Your wrinkles are all on your chin.
They're all on my chin. The beautiful thing about it, though, Gina, is that I have watched this whole cycle of, and I'm an automation freak, anything that I automate or systems, building processes. Right. I've been in corporate America, going through and building systems and processes. And the reality is I've arrived at the realization that it is all about the relationship.
Right.
And the pirate broadcast is like an example of, when I was in radio, pirate broadcasting is still a thing. It's kind of a, if you don't have a license, you're a pirate broadcaster.
Yeah, you're a pirate broadcaster.
And so the internet has allowed the playing field to be leveled. And so if you can build a few systems and bring a few tools together, you can publish your own words, images, audio, video, whatever you want to do. And you can go put it out there.
We don't have to wait for a publisher to come and say, okay, yes, your manuscript looks great. We don't have to wait for someone to say, okay, your podcast sounds good enough to get an FCC license. Like, we can just choose to do it and do it. And I'm just always so shocked how few people take that freedom and put their content out there.
Yeah. Well, and video as well. I mean, LinkedIn video is still maturing. It's still evolving. And I started Pirate Broadcast by streaming live to YouTube and then uploading it to LinkedIn.
Love it.
It's like, I don't need permission anymore unless
they need to make it easier, because we will always find a workaround.
And it goes back to also building a relationship with the community.
Right.
Because if you add value and you bring something of value to the community, I think that's really where you are allowed to shine. Right. And people highlight things. I'm part of Random Act and helping, Kindness is Cool is, some of my whole, that's who I am. That is me. So it's like, okay, let's not live in a toxic environment. Let's try to spread some kindness around here and make it work. You're getting ready to start a co-working space, right?
Yes.
And I have to believe that it has something to do with relationship and community. And
it's that, it's funny because I said, I've had my digital agency now 12 years. Before that, I was always doing marketing, working with companies one-on-one. But through that, I kept saying, I miss just sitting down with people. And I said, I would love to open a coffee shop, except I don't want to wake up at 4:00 in the morning. And I would love to have a restaurant where I could sit down with the people who come in and get to know them, but I don't want to work weekends and holidays. And I just kept thinking, I just need a place where we can all come together. And our agency builds community online. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to be in a space where you're just surrounded by cool people and you help each other, you support each other, you cheer each other on, you let them cry on each other's shoulders and have those things instead of working alone. So many of us today work alone. Even if we work in a corporate environment, many times we feel alone and isolated. And so I started looking for a co-working space, and I would go in places and I felt like everyone's mom. I felt so old. I would go in these very young tech environments. Yeah. And I would go, I thought I was doing a dorm, like dorm check. And I would walk in and I would turn
Gina, the den mother.
Yeah. I felt like, and I thought, wow, okay, that doesn't fit my vibe. Then I would go in some others and it was all men. And I thought, okay, that doesn't fit my vibe. So I just kept saying, maybe we need to create one. Maybe we need to start one. And so my 2 daughters who work for me at Social Connects, we started dreaming. And a year ago, I said, I'm calling a broker and start finding a building. And we found this amazing space across the street from this Top Golf. It's in this really beautiful business park, and it has 28 private offices and a workout space. Most importantly, a napping room for me, and a big coffee bar. So I have my coffee bar. And yeah, I'm just super excited about it opening.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic.
It's been so exciting. Yeah.
That is fantastic. I was with, I helped work on a startup here in Phoenix, and they were looking to do the same type of thing. And and I have been just amazed at, some of the development of, I don't know in your neighborhood if there's a lot of startup people, but there's a lot of things happening in the startup world. And
Colorado's a big startup, and Colorado's the #1 state for women starting businesses, which is really interesting. I'm not sure why that is, but Colorado.
Why do you think that? Why is that?
It's weird. I mean, I think Colorado attracts a lot of families because it's the quality of life. It used to be. Now we've got just as much traffic as anywhere, kind of like Phoenix. It's crazy traffic. And so, I mean, I think
Houston.
Quality of life, people move from California or Texas and they come to Colorado, and it's a little more laid back. So maybe more families moved here, and then the women are starting businesses. I was reading that article going, wow, that's awesome. But there's so many entrepreneurs. And I think, entrepreneurs, even when they're in a startup phase of a small team, they need that support of other services provided to their business, so they're not having to incur those costs. And so, we have the mail, you have your own mailbox for your business, and you have free coffee and podcast.
It's almost like a bridge between working on your own remotely and isolating, which I'm actually I'm doing that now because I'm a caretaker for my parents here in Arizona, and so I've been in Houston and I've been in Seattle and I've commuted. Yeah. So I'm okay with not commuting right now.
You talk to people every day, which is
I talk to people every day.
This is and I tell people, I think that is one outlet when you when you're on video a lot, you are connecting still with people. But when you have an idea that you want to bounce something, off of, or you have sometimes you have this amazing call with a client and you hang up and you're like, I am a rock star. And then I go, who can I celebrate with? Oh, my dog.
Wait a second. Hello?
Or reverse, you have something really bad happen and you're just like, oh, I just need somebody to tell them, take me off the ledge. And
I need a shoulder, please.
I need a shoulder. I need someone to just, hug me. And so I said, that's a big part of it. And our team, we have a team of 12 at Social Connects, and we all work remote. And the rumbling was nobody wanted to come into an office every day, but nobody wanted to work alone either. So they want that flexibility to go into a community.
Such a balance. It's such a balance.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. That is awesome. Applaud you for the effort and energy that goes into it. Yeah, because I know personally what it takes.
It's a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of energy. There's a place in Phoenix. Shout out to Cohoots. Ginny Pondingo and her husband started Cohoots in. I think they're right down near downtown Phoenix. That was one of the early spaces. We have a house out in Gold Canyon, Arizona. Okay. So I go out there for little stints here and there to escape. And I toured her space and I was like, wow, I love the vibe here. It just was very comfortable and friendly and loved it. And now they're opening one, I think in Mesa.
Yeah, Mesa's hot.
Yeah, I think
Mesa and Tempe and that whole south region, south of Scottsdale is really booming. So
yeah. So I was
which
excited.
is an hour away from me at this moment. So
Yeah. Are you in where are you?
I'm on the west side over in Sun City.
Okay, and I'm completely east side, Gold Canyon. Yeah, up against Superstition.
Yeah.
But
it's, you can find the beauty I love about the online world, though, is I have friends all over the world.
You're right.
There are places where I could go to a city and I could connect with somebody and I could put a shout out and say, hey, I'm going to be in town. You want to grab coffee? You want to grab dinner, whatever. And I could find somebody that I've been able to connect with and build a relationship with in a community around.
In 2000, it was either 2007 or 2008 when I got on Twitter. That was the thing I found immediately with Twitter was the community I connected with immediately were just amazing people. And we were involved in this crazy Second Life and virtual world and Protosphere and all these 3D immersive platforms with some clients. And I was trying to find other people to connect with that were doing things in there. And Twitter was there was a big community. And same thing. I felt like I built such great relationships with people in a virtual space. And that was even before video was, easy. And we were always in, chats and things with each other. And I felt like I could go to any town and say, hey, let's meet up. And there were people that I formed such great relationships. They would come here and stay at our house. It's like, you form friendships. But I think the key is you have to put yourself out there. You have to do the work.
You have to do the work. And the beauty or the challenge, depending on how you're looking at it, is that making it look easy takes a lot of work.
Absolutely. That is very true. That is very true.
And so it's like, I equate it because I was a musician for years. And so learning social media and making it look easy is just like any other instrument.
It is.
You have to learn the nuances, the community, the rules, the engagement, and how to maneuver through that platform. And they're all different.
Right.
They're all unique.
Every one of them. Yeah.
It's like I'm more comfortable on LinkedIn than I am on Facebook. Although I have followers on Facebook, I'm on Facebook and doing things. And so we're all unique. We're all individuals and we're all doing our own thing. Hey, I want to give a shout out, Gina, for a couple of people in the room. Troy's here. Kenyatta, your rock star. She's there. Jennifer is in the room. Sherry.
Hey.
Thank you so much for everyone being here. It's amazing opportunity to meet Gina and learn a little bit more about social media and what we're doing and a few tools and some of the things that are taking place in the LinkedIn community. And if we could do something, answer some questions or assist anyone along the way, love to help.
Yeah, throw questions out for sure.
And so let's shift this. So top 24 B2B marketers to follow in 2019.
Yeah, I don't know how, it's always one of those things when you go, LinkedIn just named you one of the top 24 B2B marketers to follow.
Is that just a random list that they put out, or is it something is it like something going on?
I don't even know. I was like, I have no idea. I think truly it's because I tell people, I go, here's the secret sauce. Just show up. Show up every day.
Show up
every day for your community, whether it's sharing content, whether it's answering questions, whether it's just helping somebody and not not trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's the only thing I can think of, but they put out a guide every year, the Sophisticated Marketer's Guide to LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And they had a page that said, here are the top 24 people to follow in the B2B space. And I was on there and I was like, wow,
that's an honor. That's
and maybe
cool.
Because, it's kind of like being the president of an association, which I have been before, where it just means that you were the one that was there the longest.
You've been showing up the most consistently over time.
And everyone else is already off the list. Yeah, I always say there's no honor in being a president of an association. Sometimes it just means you had that sucker on your head.
Am I the the person to contact, or am I the target?
Yeah. It doesn't mean I had any more special skills than anyone else. It just means I was the one that forgot to step back when they said.
Oh yeah. I missed the moment. So going back to your book on the social media doesn't work. So what kind of tips would people be able to find in here that we could leave with our wonderful audience here today?
I mean, there's just things like on Twitter, how to create lists so that, because people always say, oh my gosh, how do you follow so many people? And I go, it's information overload. And I would say, no, that's filter failure. If you're not filtering, then there's failure because it is too much. But if you filter into lists and then you say, okay, right now I just want to read all the marketing news. So I read all the marketing news tweets that are coming in. And then I go to this list and I read kind of maybe business news or maybe people that I just love to watch because they're fun. And I read, so if I filter and I create lists with my Twitter followers, then I can filter the content. And then it definitely, there's still times you just go to your home screen, which is overwhelming, and scroll. But I give tips like that of how to set up your lists and how to use those appropriately. And then on Facebook, I always tell people, so many people use they use their personal profile as their business.
Yeah.
Number one, your family and friends all hate you now. All you do is put out, they've all muted you by now. There's ways to look at each platform. Like you said earlier, each platform you behave differently. Yeah. On my personal profile on LinkedIn, I want this to be my personal and professional networking page. I want to meet people. I want to connect with people. And then from there, my hub, I say, oh, if you want this business blog post, come over to my business page. Oh, I have a podcast that I'm doing. Here's the link to go over to watch the podcast.
And by the way, there is a Pirate Broadcast Facebook page.
Yeah. See, now you're just broadcasting this into that?
Yes.
Yes. So if people want to see it, then they go to the business page. Yeah. So you're giving people the options and then channeling them. And then from a business page.
Well, it's not my job to tell them where to go. They'll show up where they want to go.
Where they want to go. Yeah. But you don't want to put all business on a person, like try to sell to your family members.
Yeah, no. And I think, and that goes back to our original point of you have to create content. I mean, I create a lot of content and I love creating content. And if all I could do is create content, I'd be happy camper.
I know. I would love to spend more time just writing. I love writing.
And so what we have though is a unique personality on multiple platforms where you have to kind of maneuver through those. And I call it, the traffic circle where you build a piece of content and you have to make the rounds and go through and process this information in a way that makes sense.
That makes sense.
And I just want to, again, give a shout out to everyone that is live and joining us here with Gina.
I guess it's not early if you're on the East Coast.
And it's just, it's just amazing to me that we can do this type of work and this type of effort. And
I know, I love it.
Get a hold of Gina. She's on LinkedIn. Where else would people want to?
I always say, I'm everywhere you want to be. I think that might be taken already, but yeah, I'm on Twitter at Gina Schreck. I'm on Facebook at Gina Schreck. You could just Google Gina Schreck. Fortunately, there's not a lot of Gina Schrecks. And if I could just take the C's out of Schreck, then I'd be like the movie. But then I could only work during the day, and when it gets dark, I turn green. So, yeah. But usually, it's always sad when I travel alone and I go to a restaurant and then they call Schreck Party of One. People all look, and it's just sad. It's a sad sight.
Oh, I'm sure that you get along well with others around you. Though.
I play well with others.
Yes. And I just appreciate you for bringing your gifts to the table here.
I thought of you this past weekend. I went to Houston. We have a new client and the client's name is Be Good to People. It's their brand and their website is begoodtopeople.com. And it's all about spreading kindness. And I actually thought of you. I was like, this is up your alley. That's
my jam. That's my jam.
Just be good to people. Get out there and just be good to people.
Yeah.
Spread kindness. Yeah. I just think there's so many people online that want to be snarky and
why?
And I don't get it.
Just take that toxic energy and go somewhere else.
Just you know what? If you just maybe hang out with some other people. Maybe that niceness would rub off on you.
Well, and you're, I think, the same, you have the same personality. Is if you help the people around you, you become the one that's being helped.
And my rule on social media, I always say, be interesting, be helpful, or be quiet.
Yes.
And that's my rule to live by on social media. Just every day, be interesting, be helpful, or go take a nap. Be quiet.
Yeah. So you have a nap room now coming up. So
I do. I use an app called Pizziz. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. P-Z-I-Z-Z. P-Z-I-Z-Z, and it's a power nap app. Years ago, like 15 years ago, before iPhones were a thing, a friend of mine was a pilot, and he told me every day when they have these flights that they need to nap in between, he uses this MP3 player, and it was a Pizziz thing. And I was like, what? I don't think that works for me, because I usually fall asleep deep, and then I sleep for an hour and I wake up groggy. And he says, oh, no, this is amazing. You can set it to 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 18, minutes, whatever. You set the time. And then it has, you put headphones in, so it's 3D sound. And then it puts you into a deep REM sleep fast. And then at the time that you set it for, it gently wakes you up and you feel energized. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. I got hooked, and now it's an app. And I've used it literally, I'd say probably 4 times a week at least. I will go lay down about 2 p.m. for 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I'm
amazing.
I need to start practicing that.
And then I can do my second shift, which goes till midnight. So see, it helps.
Right. That's who we are.
Got to get more done. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Gina. I know we're going to wrap up, and I know you got a busy day.
Yes, it was
so
fun.
Interesting people doing interesting things here on the Pirate Broadcast. Gina she brought it to the table, and I applaud you for being here. Thank you for getting up and starting your day this way with me.
What a great way to start.
And everybody that joined in, all of the friends, Lori, Sherry, Troy, and it just, thank you so much. I know I missed somebody, but I love you all. So kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And you enjoy the day.